Let us go on, reflecting about remote collaborative work. And now, let's have the opinion of Paulo Pinto about cloud environment tools and remote collaborative work.
Hello all, I'm going to talk about remote collaboration in cloud environment. When we talk about distance learning, one of the things we have to speak about is collaboration through distance means. When we are facing distance learning, we are not present in the classroom, so we cannot speak face to face as we usually do. So we have to use means of communication through distance. In a matter of fact, distance learning also implies tools for collaborative work. You cannot do distance learning without having collaborative work tools. That's what we are going to speak about today. Nowadays, we have a big resource which is called the cloud. The cloud is an environment, as we may speak, which is not a material thing you can use, but something like a place where you can store documents or software you can use, and it's been more and more safe. So it's mainly, you can use it mainly as a repository for documents, for multimedia, for audiovisuals, and also for a lot of other things you can also use in class. Let's see some of them. We can use all of them in benefit of education, of course. First of all, we have the asynchronous tools. The asynchronous tools, it's tools that we can use when you need it, and people access it when they can, like OneDrive as a file repository, or Dropbox, another file repository. WeTransfer, which allows you to send large quantities of information, like large files, through a link in an email. You store the files in the cloud, and the recipient or the recipients receive an email to download these files. It's a free service, as well as Dropbox or OneDrive, and you can use it for file transfer. Also, we have also the possibility with file sharing for independent edits of the file, meaning several people can work at the same time with the same document, and they can also contribute and work together. We also have file transfers, like sending large files to a lot of people. For instance, for our students, for instance, you can pick up a large presentation with multimedia, and you cannot send it by email because it's too heavy, but you can use transfer tools to do so. And also the usual and more common used email, which you send a message to when you need to send a message, and people can access them when they are able to do so. But also you have synchronous tools that allows people to work together at the same time in cloud environment. So you have online collaboration tools, like for instance SharePoint, which is a Microsoft paid application, but you can share, distribute, and work together with several kinds of documents, like Office documents. Also has another advantage, which I will speak later, which is versioning. And also OneDrive. You can use the plain OneDrive not only for storing documents, but also for sharing them and let people work with them and compare documents and so on. We also have communication means like Skype, VoiceShip, and other audio and video communications applications. You can use all the time. And we can communicate with one people, with many people. We can have one-to-one, one-to-many, or many-to-many conversations with this kind of tools. And also, I'm not going to deepen this, but we also have instant messaging and generally social media, which allow us to communicate also with our students, our partners, and so on. But the most important are the collaborative tools. So you have Microsoft Office as one collaborative tool, because you can produce, distribute, and also you can distribute your document for revisioning and for people to collaborate. And you later on you can merge all the collaborations into a single document. You can use also Office 365, which comes along with your email accounts like Hotmail. And also have from other providers Google Docs, which allows you almost the same thing. You can produce documents and share them and have people to contribute to those documents. Moodle, the Moodle platform, which allows you to share documents and to distribute also documents to a lot of people. And yes, and Microsoft Class Server, which is a Microsoft software like Moodle, which has more features than Moodle, but it's a paid application. You have to have a big server to allow it to use. But these are the most important collaborative tools you have, which allows people to collaborate in a single document, to produce a single document in a distance learning environment. One point which is also very important and sometimes is misregarded is security and versions. You can always save as and produce a lot of versions of the document, but that's not practical. You are going to keep a lot of documents in a folder or something like that. There is software that allows you to keep versions of your documents and also keep them safe. You can always pick up an earlier version and see what have been changed since then without having to have a folder with a lot of documents. Version at yesterday at 5 o'clock, version yesterday at 8 o'clock. No, you have software that do that. So when you're talking about sensitive documents, you might want to have versions of that documents. Sometimes you should have versions of the documents to keep track of what you have been doing. So we have version control. In this case, we have SourceSafe, which was developed mainly for developers of software to keep the source code safe and throughout versions. So if you do a big mistake, you can always revert to the last saved version, but can be used with any type of documents, and you can retrieve a version from any point in time. Also, the evolution of SourceSafe, which is the Team Foundation, which also is a product mainly directed to developers, software developers, but can be used with any kind of documents. And we have also other free software like GAT, CSV, which are generally available online, and you can use to store and keep versions of your documents, especially your sensitive documents. With this, what is the main word? So you have to do collaborative work. For distance learning, you have to collaborate with work, so you have to stay connected all the time. So you have to stay connected anywhere. Wherever you go, you have to have means of communication. Anytime of the day, you have to have means of communication, and with anything. So the communication is not only done with computers, but can be done with smartphones, with tablets, with anything that can communicate. And this is what is recommended nowadays in the use of the cloud environment. Thank you.